All right, today we take you overseas to Scotland for this beer. Been a while since we've traveled out of the country, or at least out of the continent. This is a Scotch ale that's actually from Scotland. For the first time that we've been doing Scotch ales, this actually is from the native country. This comes to us from the Orkney brewery. It's called Skull Splitter, and it's one of the more well-known Scotch ales, if not the most well-known Scotch ale in the entire world. Comes into us at 8.5% alcohol by volume. Of course, the style also known as a wee heavy. And now, the Orkney Brewery was founded in 1988 by a guy named Roger White. He founded it at the Old Schoolhouse in Sandwick, Orkney, Scotland. Along with Atlas Brewery, they are known as Sinclair Breweries. So Atlas and Orkney both merged. They are now Sinclair Breweries, I guess one of the largest breweries probably in Scotland. Style, as you know, we've done a few Scotch ales before, especially the Founder's Dirty Bastard, I believe, was one that we've done. Maybe that was the only one other than this one that we've done. Also known as a 160/-, which is kind of an ode to the old currency. Sweeter, fuller-bodied, and very malty and caramelly with roasted flavors. That's basically a Scotch ale in a nutshell, more so than the Scottish ale, which is less alcohol. The beer takes its name after Thorfinn Hossaklsvulf. I don't know how you pronounce that, but his name's Thorfinn. He was the 7th Viking Earl of Orkney, hence the name Skull Splitter. That was his nickname. Why he was called Skull Splitter, who knows? But they produced a world-renowned beer some years later. So this is the label. I believe they changed their label to kind of a Viking caricature. It used to have a kind of a neat story where the photo was a guy named Michael Hockney, who is a member of the Orkney Islands Council. And they wanted him to be the model for Skull Splitter. However, the council said, probably not a good idea to have an elected official be a spokesman for beer. So they didn't let him do it, but he decided to do it anyway, go against code and do that. But I don't believe this is the caricature of the guy. It does have a little bit of a write-up on the back. It says Skull Splitter takes its name from Thorfinn, I still can't pronounce it, Hossakluf. Hoskaluf, how about that? The 7th Viking Earl of Orkney. Sophisticated, satiny smooth with a deceptively light character. It is a tribute to our colorful forebear. So, there you have it. Let's open up Skull Splitter. This is 11.2 fluid ounces, which a lot of the European beers are. They don't go that full 12 ounces, which the American ones do. And we'll pour it into a pint glass. Scotch ale, pint glass, fair game, basically. Most ales are fair game in a pint glass. And as we see that very malty, dark brownish kind of color that we're used to with the Scotch ales. Kind of a classic look to it, as you can see, with kind of a film khaki, a small khaki-looking film is what I wanted to say. Let's get the aroma now of Skull Splitter. Almost getting kind of a brown ale, caramelly kind of smell to it. Very, very much like an English brown ale kind of smell. It's not really, I don't really get that Scotch kind of smell, that alcohol-y, boozy kind of tone that you kind of get from the Founder's Backwoods Bastard, or not the Backwoods Bastard, the Dirty Bastard. The Backwoods Bastard, by the way, is a Scotch ale as well. We'll get to that at a later date. Okay, yeah, it's getting a brown ale kind of vibe from this with the malty, toasty notes. Maybe a little bit of maybe plum fruitiness, fig fruitiness, maybe just a little bit. I don't know. Let's get the taste now of Skull Splitter. Definitely getting an alcohol twinge at the end of this beer. It does not go down like a brown ale. Might smell a bit like a brown ale. Does not go down like it at all. This is a lot of stuff going on as far as the just toasty notes to this beer. It's just very, very toasty. Maybe toffee-ish. Maybe a hint of dark fruit kind of taste to the beer. Let's see if it has any of these things in here. Molasses. It says it has molasses. I can taste molasses. Can't point things out sometimes by a blind taste test. Sometimes I need the notes. And the back of the beer bottle has the notes, which is very, very helpful. Hints of warming spices. Why not? Rich and toasted. Almost like kind of, I'll tell you what, to me this kind of tastes a little bit like a brown ale merged almost with like Brooklyn Black Chocolate Stout. Almost with a Russian Imperial Stout. I'm kind of getting that taste to it. It's like a brown ale on a little bit of steroids. Not too many steroids, but a little bit. Good tasting beer. I don't think I'm quite as big of a fan of it as Dirty Bastard, and I hate to say that because this is the real deal. This is out of Scotland. That said, I'm going to give Skull Splitter from Orkney Brewery a 7 out of 10.